Okay, if you check our our module 1, guys, I already posted the slides in PDF for the first part and the second part of our module 1. There was a request from some of you to provide a slide format, because what I did before was a handout format. So I, I received some comments that some of the text could not be seen. So here, guys, this is the first part. This is similar to the handout that was provided to you, but this time this is in slide form, which means one page occupies the whole slide. So that means there should be no problem anymore with the size of the font. And this is part 2. Okay, we'll see how far we can reach today. If we're not able to finish part 2, then that means that we have to have a spillover for next week. But definitely next week we should start already with module 2. Okay, so let's have a quick review of the sorry. Excuse me. Let's have a quick review of the exercise that we had. Okay. So let's take a look at the answers that you gave. So let me go to question number 8. So 2 companies issued bonds, firm A, firm B. Okay. Oops. What happened here? Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, let's review the answers. So for question number 8, we're told that there are 2 companies. Okay, company firm A, and firm B. Firm A is well established. Well established, has been in the industry a long time. So it issued a bond. The bond was worth 100 million. Duration or term was 10 years. Company B, also the same, guys, the same amount, 100 million, also 10 years, same tenor, everything is the same. So one of these issued a 7% bond, the other one issued an 8% bond. The question was, which company issued the 8% bond? Okay, so nangutang yung A at saka si B, nangutang sila eh. Bond kasi yan, guys, no? Ibig sabihin ng bond, it's a long-term borrowing. So one borrowed 100 million for 10 years, payable in 10 years, and they paid and they promised to pay 8% interest, no? 8% interest. Okay. The other one at 7% interest. So which company paid which? So the company that issued the 8% bond is firm B. No? Bakit firm B? We'll discuss the answer in the next question. So here the answer is firm B. Okay, and then we go to the next question. Okay, explain why. Okay, bakit yung answer nyo either A or B? So this group said that, okay, we chose firm A since this firm has a higher or better credit standing. Therefore, have a higher chance of paying back the bond. Okay, although ando doon yung thought, guys, kaso hindi na explain So if they have the higher chance of paying the bond, anong ibig sabihin nun? Okay, so the thought is there, kaso nga lang pag nag-answer tayo guys, let's make sure that we hit the nail on the head, no? Kasi hindi dito na-explain talaga kung bakit ano eh. Firm A. And besides nga pala, sorry it's not firm A, it's firm B, no? It's firm B that issued the 8% bond. So let's take a look at another answer. A good credit standing will incur lesser rate of interest. However, firm B will have a higher interest rate due to the risk of being a relatively new firm. Okay, so okay naman, okay yung thought behind this, no? But the answer, guys, is ililink natin sa principle ng finance, yung risk and return. So, ano nga ba yung risk and return? The higher the assumed risk, the higher is the required return. So, from the perspective of the investors, okay, since they will be assuming a greater amount of risk if they invest in company B, because company B is relatively new, okay, not so much track record yet, maybe its credit standing, credit rating is not yet that well compared to firm A, who has been in the industry for a long time, well established na siya, and may track record na siya and a good credit standing. Therefore, in what firm is the investor going to assume a greater amount of risk? It's company B, di ba? Since mas malaki yung risk na i-assume niya sa company B, therefore, it will require a greater amount of return. Kasi kung pareho silang 7%, guys, kayo personally, kung tanungin ko kayo, no? Mag-i-invest kayo, tapos yung isa medyo hindi tayo sigurado, yung isa, sigurado tayo makakabayad. And then pareho sila nag-offer ng 7%. Siyempre, human nature dictates that punta tayo dun sa masigurado tayo, di ba? Total, pareho lang naman yung pareho lang naman yung return na binibigay at 7%. So, kailan tayo ma-entice, kailan tayo ma-encourage o ma-motivate na mag-invest dun sa isa? Kung bibigyan tayo ng higher interest, di ba? May entice tayo, some of us might be willing to take on the risk. Okay, risk taker kasi ako, no? So, sige, willing ako na kunin tong investment na to. Although mas risky siya, total, mas mataas naman yung interest rate na ibibigay. Okay, so may mga ganung reasons, no? Alright, so let's move forward dito. Sabi dito, Firm A is well known to have a good credit standing. The lender trusts that they will pay. Okay, thus giving them a lower interest rate. On the other hand, okay, so this is exactly what I was discussing a while ago. No? So yung mga lenders, okay, they will demand a higher interest rate for Firm B because they will be assuming a higher risk. No? Okay, so this is correct. No? Ito yung reason na hinahanap natin. By issuing a bond, the company want to gain capital. Okay? If you are a new company with no credible status, you will most likely issue a bond with a higher interest rate. Okay, so this is correct also. To attract investors to buy your bond and lend you money. That's correct. Higher interest rate kasi mas bago ka nga. No? Mas risky. Although hindi nabanggit yung risk dito, importanteng ibabanggit natin yung pinaka-keyword, no? Which is risk. Firm B is relatively a new firm in the corporate world. They will most likely have less capital as compared to Firm A. Okay, this might be true, but we really don't know, guys, kasi hindi natin nakita yung FS nila. No? So, ito, most likely, sabagay sinabi naman na most likely, but not necessarily true. Kasi pwede yung si Firm B, kahit mas bago siya, pwede mas malaki yung capital niya. No? Ang issue dito, pareho sila nangangailangan ng additional capital ng 100 million. Now, whether Firm A has a bigger capital than Firm B, we don't know. No? That can only be known by looking at the financial statements, in particular the balance sheet. Okay, so this one we cannot really conclude this. Kasi pwede namang bagong pasok yung company tapos ang laki ng capitalization niya. That's possible. No? Kahit na si Firm A matagal na siya, okay? Pumasok si firm B, tapos ang laki ng backer niya. For example, let's say nag-merge yung malalaking companies, no? Nag-raise sila ng malaking capital, tapos pumasok sila dun sa industry na yun. So that's possible. So we cannot really say this most likely have less capital as compared to firm A. Okay? With this, they must be able to gain as much money, cash flows, in order to keep their business going. We believe that 8% bond is directed to firm B since they could receive income through the bonds. Okay, ito medyo na-confuse dito, no? Si firm B yung nangungutang, no? Sila nag-issue ng bonds. They could receive income through to firm B since they, sino kaya yung they dito? That the 8% bond is directed to firm B. Now, it was firm B that was issuing the bonds, okay? So let's just make this clear. Si firm B ang nag-issue ng bonds, hindi sila yung binigyan ng bonds, okay? Since they could receive income through bond interest payments. Ito baliktad, no? Si firm B ang magbabayad ng interest. So interest expense na 'yon. Yung company na yung mga parties na nagpautang, okay? Sila yung makakatanggap ng interest income. Okay, so I think medyo nagkaroon ng confusion dito, no? Okay, dito sa next group, given the reason that B is relatively a new firm in the market. By the way, guys, this is not alphabetical. This is not by chronological. This is not group 1, 2, 3, 4. Halo-halo yan kasi depende yan sa unang nag-submit, no? So you don't know which group answered this. Given the reason that firm B is relatively new in the market, it has the need to have greater investors and shareholders. Okay, so this might be possible then. Pero in this instance, pareho nilang kailangan, guys, yung 100 million. Okay? Need to have greater investors and shareholders. The bonds also has lower interest rate than banks. Okay? Not necessarily true to, no? Therefore, firm B is a company that issued the bond at 8%. Okay, so ito hindi na tumbok yung yung answer na na mas greater yung amount ng risk na i-assume ng investor sa B kasi mas bago siya. Okay, hindi na banggit yun. Yun ang hinahanap natin, guys, na answer. Okay? So this is theory building. So importante na makuha natin yung talagang fundamental principles. Okay, next. Firm B, because they have no credit ratings yet. Okay, may credit rating naman siguro, pero lower nga lang. Lower. Mas stable kasi si A, so mas maganda yung credit rating niya. It is riskier. Okay, this is correct. No? Ito yung sinasabi natin. No? Riskier for creditors to lend to firm B. Okay, this is correct. Nakuha talaga yung pinaka-concept. Okay, good credit standing allows firm A to be trusted with smaller interest. Trusted with smaller interest. Firm B is newly must apply due diligence and have them pay more interest. Creditor must apply due diligence. Okay. Although hindi nabanggit yung keyword natin na risk, no? Pero ando dun yung idea na to. Okay, so I gave you credit for this, no? yung tamang-tama yung answer, of course, 3 points, then my 2 points, no? Okay, next question. Yung mga amount, itong mga amounts na to, okay, where is that? Ito, ang sabi natin, year 0, may 10,000 daw, year 1, 5,000, etc. My question was, what are these in order to, for us to be able to analyze this and determine whether this is viable or not? Ano itong mga values na to? Ang answer dyan, guys, let's see your answers. Okay, so let's see. One group said the company will ito pala. No, ito. The company will incur loss of 10,000 to earn a profit of 5,000 in 5 years. Okay, saan ang galing to? Ito, ang ginawa ng group na to, sabi loss daw of 10,000. Actually, it's not a loss, no? Hindi naman results of operations yung 10,000 na to. Yung 10,000, yung initial investment ang tawag dyan. Okay? This is your initial investment. Okay, tapos itong mga to, what are they? They are not profits, no? Kasi kung profit lang yan, kung mga net income yan, hindi pa natin pwede ma-analyze yan. Okay, sinabi natin dati yan, guys, na okay, let's go back here. So they're not profits. So itong 5,000 na to nanggaling to sa, so ang sabi ng group na yan, if we add all of this, yung mga inflows natin, you get 15,000. May initial investment tayo na 10,000. So they're saying that the profit is 5,000. Doon na galing 5,000 yan. However, guys, these are not profits. Kasi kung profits yan, hindi natin pwede ma-analyze kung viable to hindi. Kasi it will violate the principle, several principles. So these are not profits. The values represent net present value. Okay. So also, guys, hindi siya net present value. Hindi mga net present value to. Okay, these are not net present value. Explain ko mamaya kung ano to. Hindi. Okay. They're not net present values. Okay, where's so there was a mention of NPV, no? There was also a mention of profits, profit and loss. May loss din. So ulit muna natin mga keywords natin. Okay, balik na tayo dito. Okay, NPV daw. Tapos sabi dito, 0 represents overall expense. So ganun din, ano? Expense and profit. Ito NPV. Ito NPV. Okay, ito cash flow. Ito cost plus return. These values are important in order to compute for the net present value, cost and return. Okay. And then this one, investment. Okay, so to answer that, guys, itong mga values na to, di ba sabi natin, para ma-analyze natin yan, para ma-determine natin kung feasible yan, dapat yung mga figures na to, guys, these should all be cash flows. Okay, so the answer there is cash flows dapat to. Cash flow yan, which is cash outflow, cash inflow, 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 inflow. So that's the time that we can analyze whether this project is feasible or not. So hindi siya expense, no? Hindi siya expense. Galing yan sa expenses. Okay, ang pinanggalingan nito, computation ng profit and loss or expense. Pero it was already converted into cash flows. 'Di ba sabi natin, yung net income after tax, pag yan ang nakukuha natin kasi income statement eh. It should be converted into cash flows. And then, pag cash flows na siya, pwede na natin i-analyze kung feasible siya o hindi. Okay. Then, pangalawa guys, so yun ang answer cash flows dapat yung mga yan. No? They are cash flows. This is the cash outflow. These are your cash inflows. So let's take a look at your answer sa number 10. No? Should we invest? Okay, mag-i-invest ba tayo? Explain ko maya guys kung bakit hindi net present value yan. So mali yung net present value. Okay, so mag-i-invest ba? According to this group, we would not invest because there's little return considering the project will be done over a period of 5 years. Okay, the problem with this answer is that how little is little? Okay? Ano yung benchmark natin? Kunyari, 10 tayo sa isang room, tapos pinag-uusapan natin kung okay yung project na to o hindi. It will be difficult for us to say how little is little. Is 1,000 little? Is 5,000 little? So, who sets the benchmark? What is big and what is little? So that can be a challenge unless may predefined tayo. Kunyari, ang little is from 0 to 10,000. Ang medium from 10,000 to 20,000. Yung ganong klase. No? Unless na predefine natin yan, wala tayong problema. Pero pag ganyan lang, so who will now say that a particular amount is little? Okay, ito, yes, because, okay, positive net present value, saan nanggaling to? Ano yung net present value dito? Okay, is it the 5,000? Okay, because if it's the 5,000, then that's not the net present value. Okay, although tama ito, no, sabi, the projects should the company should avoid pursuing projects that have negative NPV. The principle is correct. Pero if you relate it to the problem, yung mga values na yun, hindi naman net present value yun. Okay? May step dito na kulang, na hindi na-explain. Okay? That's why this is partly correct, but may missing part dito. Okay, dito, assuming that the years represent profit, again guys, ang assumption, ang ano natin dito, prior to the previous question, dapat cash flow siya. Okay? They're not profits. We would not invest in the project. The matter of profitability, declining profit, okay? Okay, sabi dito sa answer na to, declining profit daw and unfit to be held as a long-term investment. Therefore, if our analysis from the previous question is correct, the overall profit would only be 5,000. Okay, makes sense. Tama tong number na to kasi we added it, no? Which is not ideal considering the 5,000. Okay. So my initial investment na 10,000, which we don't call expense, guys. Iba yung expense, iba yung investment, no? Or initial investment. Ang expense, it will only benefit one operating period or one accounting period. Ang investment, it will benefit several periods. Okay, so 5,000. Okay, ang sabi dito, not ideal. Okay, so ang question, what is ideal? Okay, so that's what's difficult here. No? Hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung ideal. Who will set that? Who will set the qualification? Okay, sino magsasabi niyan? Unless talagang pinag-usapan na, okay, let's agree na itong amount na ganito, ideal siya, lower than that, not ideal. Okay? So this is what I'm saying. No? Okay, ito naman, no, profits even eventually decline. So these are not profits. Okay, and mamaya i-discuss natin yung decline, no, in later years. That's a very important point, yung sinasabi niyo na bumababa yung quote-unquote profit. Then this one, we must invest because in the long run, the cash inflow is greater than the cash outflow. Okay? So, this is also a good answer, guys. Kaso, something is fundamentally wrong with this answer, which I'm going to explain in a while. So, ang ginawa nito, kinompare yung outflow, which is 10,000, and the inflow, which is 15,000. And the result, sabi nga niya, invest because the inflow is greater than the outflow. Mathematically, that's correct. So mathematically, this is correct. But there's a finance principle that's violated here. I'll show in a while. Okay, no. Okay, nag-mention dito ng IRR. No? Okay. It's going down each year, therefore, it's not worth investing. Okay. Good. This group computed for the IRR, okay, 20% down. Profit of the company is going down each year. Again, hindi profit yan, guys, cash flows, no? Therefore, it's not worth investing. Okay, I'll show you guys in a while why itong answer na to, although binanggit yung IRR, no? This answer is inaccurate, no? I'll show you in a while. So, babanggitin natin IRR. Ito, cash inflows was more than cash outflows, not expenses. Okay? So let's be correct with our terms, hindi expenses, no? Cash inflows was more than the cash outflow. Okay. So pareho lang din to ng dun sa ibang group. Yes, walang explanation. Always, guys, always explain your answer pag hinihingi, no? Okay, so let's go here. So once again, nabanggit, guys, yung ano ba yung nabanggit? IRR nabanggit din. IRR, tapos yung decreasing cash flows. So these were the concepts that were mentioned in the answers. Decreasing, ang ginamit nga, decreasing profits. Okay, number one, guys. Number one. So is this project feasible? Assuming these are cash flows, so pwede na natin ma-determine kung feasible or not to. Now, yung isa, ang in-answer nila, yung I think some of you answered that this is okay since this is the net cash flow to, no? Net cash flow is the net cash flow is positive, which means the total inflow is greater than the total outflow. Okay, mathematically that's correct kasi yung 15,000 compared to 10,000 outflow, 5,000 yung difference. Kaso guys, babalik tayo dun sa concept na pinag-aralan natin, no? Okay. Hindi natin siya pwedeng i-add, guys. We cannot add this cash flow. Bakit? Why can't we add these cash flows? Kasi they belong to different time frames, no? So now, ang investment natin is 10, negative siya, 5, 4, 4, 1, 1. So what's happening was we are adding these cash flows, which we cannot because that will violate the time value of money. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na time value of money concept. Na yung 1 million today is different from 1 million after 1 year. Kaya nga may choice kayo eh. Kaya nga mas pinili niyo yung 1 million today kaysa 1 million after 1 year. Diba? We asked that before. And you said that you choose 1 million now kasi may cost ang pera, guys. Ibig sabihin, you could have, if you get the money now, put it in an investment. Tapos after 1 year, mas malaki na yung 1 million na yan. No? As compared to just getting the same 1 million after 1 year. Okay? So, these amounts cannot be added. Hindi siya pwede. Magbabiolate tayo ng time value of money. Okay, so anong ginagawa? Nabanggit ng isang grupo, several groups, that the concept of NPV. Net present value. Net present value. So ano itong net present value na to? When you say present, guys, it's now. So ang ginagawa dito, we convert yung 5. Ang question natin, magkano siya ngayon? Magkano yung equivalent ng 5,000 in 1 year's time now? Magkano si 4? 4,000, how much is it now? So itong 4 na to, which we will receive in 3 years' time, how much is it now? So take note, guys, lahat siya pinoproject ko sa time 0. Itong 1,000 na to, how much is it now? Okay, it's a question, how much is it now? And then, itong 5 na to, okay, how much is it now? Yun ang tanong. Okay, so, when you're able to get this, guys, lahat sila, mga present values na, then pwede natin i-add yan. Okay, we can now sum up all these values since they are now on values at time 0. Actually, guys, pwede nyo siyang i-project lahat sa time year 1, year 2, any year, guys, any year. Pwede natin i-project lahat sa year 5, no? Okay, and then sum it up, you'll get the same answer. Same answer in the sense of deciding whether the project is feasible or not. So pag in-add natin lahat yan, ang tawag dyan, NPV. Yun ang NPV, guys. No? Kasi yung answer ng ibang groups, guys, sabi nyo NPV to. Hindi NPV yan. Cash flow yan. Yung NPV, yung amount na tinotal na natin. Kaya ang tawag sa kanya net. Okay? Net present value. Now, there were also answers sa inyo na sinasabing okay siya kasi net present value is positive. How do you know? Hindi pa natin alam yung NPV, hindi pa natin na-compute. Okay? Paano natin mako-compute yung NPV? Kailangan natin, guys, di ba ang formula, if you recall, guys, from your business math siguro, present value is equal to the future value, okay, times 1 plus R raised to the negative T. So lahat to, we can consider this as future values. Pag kinuha natin yung present value ni 10,000, 10,000 din yan kasi nasa year 0 yan eh. So itong sa year 1, it becomes 5. This becomes 5 times 1 plus your R. What's your R? Your R is your WAC, no? And then -1 kasi after 1 year lang yun. Okay. So kung year 2, this becomes -2 and then this becomes 4. No? So we can compute for the present value. Okay, and the present value will be lower than the future value, guys. Okay, so pag nakuha na natin lahat tapos in-add natin, then that's the time we can determine if the net present value is positive or negative. Ang decision rule dyan, if net present value is positive, greater than 0, then okay yung project. If the net present value is, sabi ng isang group, if the net present value is negative, it's less than 0, then reject the project. So that's how we determine, guys, if the project is valid or not. Okay, clear yun, guys? Clear? Paki-chat nga please kung clear yung concept ng NPV. Babalikan natin yan, guys. We'll have lots of exercises about that. Is the concept of net present value clear? Okay, thank you. Thank you. But I appreciate you guys for answering that. Ibig sabihin, medyo, na-meet nyo na ba yung concept na yan? Paki-chat nga, please. If na-meet nyo na yung NPV, saang subject nyo na-meet yan before? Kung pwede, guys, feedback, please. Okay, business math. Yan. Okay. So, don't forget the concept, guys. No? Si NPV, we all convert all values to one time frame. Okay? To one time frame. In particular, year 0 or the value now. No? Kaya nga present siya. No? But we can, of course, project it in other years. No? Pero hindi na siya magiging net present value kasi hindi na siya present eh. Nasa future years na siya. Okay, but that can be done also. And then you can add the same. And then kapag net positive yung net cash flow na yan, then the project is okay. Okay, then may nabanggit sa inyo na decreasing, no? Decreasing profits. When in fact, it should be decreasing cash flows. Okay, may tanong ulit ako sa inyo, guys. No? Let's compare this one, 5 and 1. Okay. What would you want to receive? 1 million now or 1 million in 5 years? Paki-chat nga, guys. Now or 1 million in 5 years? Yeah, okay. I'm sure, ano tayo, yung unanimous tayo dito na mas gusto natin yung 1 million now. Kasi let's assume that the positive inflow is still 15,000, no? So you get here 1,000, binaliktad natin 1,000, 4,000, 5,000, 4,000 ulit, 5,000. Okay. Take a look at that, guys. You have an issue here. You have a situation here where the cash flow is increasing. Okay. Kasi nabanggit nyo na you don't like it kasi nagdi-decrease yung cash flow. Okay, assuming guys na 15,000 pa rin yung marireceive natin, you would want that the biggest amount should be at the earliest years. Okay? Mas gusto natin na mas maaga natin nakukuha yung mas malaking amount. Definitely guys, based on that principle, mas maganda tong cash flow na to. This is a lot better than this one. Ito nag-i-increase over time, 1,000, 1,000, 4,000, 4,000, 5,000. But if you get the present value guys, 5,000 present value niyan today, no? Mas maliit siya kaysa kung 5,000 makukuha natin ngayon after 1 year pala, sorry. And we get the present value of course now. So getting the bigger amount now is a lot better than getting it in the future. Okay, so sabi nga natin, let's learn from this. This is fundamentally flawed, no? This is fundamentally flawed. Na gusto natin yung bigger chunk dun makukuha sa simula, no? Because that has implication to the net present value. If you have bigger cash flows at the beginning of the project, then you will have chances are you'll have a bigger net present value. Okay? Assuming na pareho lang guys yung yung total amount ng cash inflows. Okay. Okay, my question ba guys, so far clear tong concept na to? I wanted to discuss this with you para alam natin na we cannot have that reasoning na gusto natin tumataas yung cash flow. On the contrary guys, again assuming na pareho lang yung total na cash flows na makukuha, mas gusto natin na nasa simula yung yung malalaking cash flow. We would rather want that, no? Kaysa gantong klaseng cash flow. So this cash flow is better than this cash flow. Okay, from an investment perspective. Okay, next guys, yung IRR. Nabanggit yung IRR. Okay, apparently this group computed for the IRR. So pakita ko lang. There's a function in Excel called IRR. Values, okay. Ito yung values kasama yung initial investment. Then ignore the guess. Okay. So, ginamit nila yung IRR function ni Excel, okay, which is good. Okay, and they got this, okay, kaya sabi na 20.85% yung IRR. Okay, is this good or bad? Kasi sabi ng nag-answer na group na bad daw yon. Okay, so anyone guys, is this a good internal rate of return? IRR stands for internal rate of return, and it's supposed to measure the return of the project, the return of the investment. So 20.85. So kayo guys, kung kayo tatanungin, okay ba yung return na 20.85? Okay, any answer guys? Paki-chat. Okay, Khalil, thank you. Hindi po masyado. Okay, thank you. Roy, no. Okay. Thank you. Any other answers, guys? Okay, thank you, Theo. Not much, okay, at least. Thank you, Roy. So, sino pa, guys? Ano yung ano nyo? Kayo, personally lang, personally. How about the rest, guys? I want to see. Okay, thank you, Sophia. So, si Sophia didn't know. Thank you. Okay, yung iba guys, I'd like to hear your idea. Siguro mga 5 pa lang yung nakita kong answer. Sana yung iba, yung 20 plus. I hope you can share your answer, please. What's your idea, guys? What's your take on this? So, ang return ng project na to, 20.85%. So if you were let's say the manager or the boss, okay ba sa itong project na to, na ang return niya 20.85%? I'm still waiting for the others to share the answers. Okay, Phoebe, no, thank you. Okay, Ashley, no then. Kai, no. Jasper, no. Okay, Hans, no. Okay, Juliet, no. Okay. All right, Christian, no, thank you. Martin, no then. Okay, so let me just ask one, may volunteer guys kung bakit just one volunteer kung bakit no yung answer mo. Kasi syempre may pinanggagalingan yan, di ba? You must have come up with a thought process, tapos nag-decide ka, no. And what could be the reason why? Anyone would like to share?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, who's this?
Roy Valyada po.
Roy, sige. Roy, please.
So ano po, the reason I think na not much kasi I was doing searching po while you were discussing. Sabi dito, the IRR is the annual rate of growth.
Okay.
So if you're going to follow that definition po, since it's 20%, I think na hindi masyado quote-unquote fast yung pag-grow ng money. Kaya I thought pa na hindi siya much or parang masyado mabagal, ganun po, yung pag-grow ng money.
Yeah. Thank you, Roy, for that answer. Okay, my point naman si Roy doon, sinasabi niya na medyo hindi fast yung velocity ng rate medyo mabagal, no? Okay, now, if we were, kunyari, sa company tayo, ang question natin, who will now decide kung okay to o hindi? Okay, kasi if we were 10, kunyari 10 managers tayo, maaring iba-iba yung ano natin, iba-iba yung perception, iba-iba yung ano natin, yung opinion about this. So that can be difficult, guys, kasi ano yung gagawin nating benchmark? Ano yung gagawin nating ano? Buti na lang, guys, sa finance, may logical, mathematical reason for coming up with a decision. Okay? So remember, guys, actually alam nyo na to eh. No? Medyo siguro na nakalimutan nyo lang yung concept. But we have been discussing this. Naalala nyo yung finance principle, any project that will be investment principle, any project that will be invested in by the company has to earn a return that is higher than the, alala nyo guys, higher than the what? Higher than the, paki-unmute na lang. Ayan, okay. Correct, guys. Yun ang answer natin. No? Higher than the WACC. Yun. So, ito yung return ng project, 20.85%. Okay, so, okay ba yan o hindi? Well, the answer, guys, is ano ba yung WACC? Ano ba yung average cost of capital ng company? Okay, that's how you answer that, no? So, kung yung WACC is 12%, then okay yung project. Okay? Okay yung project. If the WACC is not, for example, the WACC, let's say for purposes of example, it's 25%, and then reject yung project. So straightforward yung answer na to, guys. No? Straightforward. It's based on a well-accepted theoretical concept. Okay? Na yung return dapat ng project, dapat bine-benchmark natin against the cost of capital, against the hurdle rate. Magkano ba yung average sa pagkuha ng company ng capital? Kasi siyempre, ang ginagamit natin sa pag-invest yung capital ng company. And if the cost of capital is, let's say, 15%, and the project will return 20.85%, then go tayo doon, guys. Unless may principle yung company, for example lang to na projects to be invested in should have a return that's 10% more than the weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so kunyari ganun, guys. For purposes of example, although wala pa akong nakitang ganung company na ganun yung benchmark nila, no? Wala pa akong narinig. Sorry. Ano yung company, ang benchmark nila is WACC plus a premium, no? When I say WACC plus premium, may additional na ano dapat, no? Kunyari, example lang, WACC plus 10%. If the WACC is 15% plus 10% premium, so that means ang effective WACC natin dapat 25%. So if that's the policy of the company, then reject this project, no? 20.85. Kasi ang ano natin, ang benchmark is WACC plus 10%. But if it's just WACC, then, and if the WACC is 15%, then okay na okay itong project na to. Okay? So that's the answer to that question. Okay? So assuming that the WACC is, lagay natin dito is 12%, no? So should we push through with the project? Guys, assuming, let's assume that the policy is that the any project should be greater than the hurdle rate or the WACC itself. So should we push through with the project? Ang IRR na 20.85. Ang WACC niya 12%. Okay ba yung project, guys? Paki-chat na lang, please. Okay. Yes, you're correct. Tama. Tama. So okay yung project natin. Okay. In fact, let me compute for the NPV. Okay, we're going to learn this. I don't know if you learned this in before. Natutunan nyo ba gamitin yung Excel to compute for IRR and NPV? Guys, dati. Sa business math nyo, nag-Excel ba kayo or calculator kayo? Okay. No. Thank you, Khalil. Okay, good. Because dito, guys, hindi tayo magka-calculator. Next week, mag-FS analysis tayo. Excel talagang gagamitin natin. Kasi yung ginagamit naman talaga sa real world, no? Okay, if I compute for the NPV, hindi ko muna ituturo sa inyo kung paano, pero ito lang yun. Rate is 12%, that's the WACC. And then our values are, okay, dali. Oops. Okay. So this is our NPV. Okay, our NPV is 1703. Okay, we'll learn this in the future, guys, kung paano kinukuha si NPV at saka si IRR. Our NPV is 1703. Therefore, okay ba yung project, guys? Acceptable ba? Acceptable, guys? 1703. Chat, please, kung okay itong ano na to, kung okay yung NPV na to. Okay, answer is, okay, yes. Yes, sabi natin kapag positive yung net present value, okay, mas malaki yung present value ng cash inflows kaysa sa cash outflows. Then that's okay. Okay, so in terms of NPV, okay yung project. In terms of IRR, okay din yung project. Now, last question before we go to the slides, no? What happens if there's a conflict between IRR and NPV? Kunyari lang. Kunyari si IRR lumabas na IRR, sabihin natin 11% lang kunyari si IRR. So that means IRR is below the weighted average cost of capital. So in terms of IRR, dapat reject yung project. Si NPV, 1703. So using NPV as a decision rule, okay yung project. Using IRR, hindi okay yung project. Okay. Paki-chat nga guys, please. Ang tanong, okay ba yung project? Accept the project or reject? So I hope everyone will answer sa chat box natin, please. Okay, sige, magpo-poll na lang ako guys, no? Ano ba to? Edit. Dali ha. Okay, wait. What happened? Paano ba yung pause? Ay, sorry. Mali guys, mali sige, ganun lang guys. Mali yung question guys, pero ang question na lang gawin natin ano kung the project is okay, yes. Kung if the project is no, then answer. If the project is not feasible, then no. Okay, yung yes guys, again, ano yung context? Ang context natin, ang NPV natin, 1703. So, ibig sabihin, sabi ng NPV, okay yung project. Pero yung IRR naman, ang sinasabi, since 11% lang yung IRR, hypothetical case, do not proceed with the project. So question, sino masusunod? Si IRR o si NPV? Sino masusunod? Pag yes ang answer nyo guys, proceed with the project. Ibig sabihin, si NPV ang ang tatanggapin. No? Pag nag-no kayo, ibig sabihin ang susundin si IRR. So okay, pakisagot guys sa poll. Okay, thank you. Okay, so okay, yan. Okay, so a few more guys. May 6 pa na hindi nakaka-answer. Six more students, please. Sana 100% tayong sumagot, no? Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds. There are 5 people who still have not answered. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay. So, tatlo hindi sumagot. And polling natin. Okay. So, can you see the results, guys? 17 of you answered yes, ibig sabihin, proceed with the project. 7 of you answered no, ibig sabihin, reject the project. Okay, the answer there, guys, is pag may conflict si NPV at saka si IRR, if there's a conflict between the two, ang lagi nasusunod si NPV. Okay, so even if the IRR is only 11% and NPV is positive at 1703, okay, so 17 of you answered yes, so that's correct, no? So dapat ituloy yung project. And there's a reason for that. It's in the way IRR is computed. Okay, so we will not go into that now. Pero theoretically, mas sound yung paggamit ng NPV. Kaya kung kung nagko-conflict, laging sinusunod si net present value. Okay? All right. So let's now let me first. May question. Any questions, guys? Sorry, Roy. Thank you for that question. Ang question, Roy, ano mo nga to everyone yung question na yan. Please share your question para yan. Okay. Thank you, Roy, for this question. Saan nakuha yung 12%? So, kino-compute yan, guys, ha? In the real world, kino-compute ng firm yan. Ito, inassume lang natin kasi syempre wala naman tayong details. This is just a hypothetical case. So, we assume that the WACC was 12%. Okay? Sa mga problems natin, I'll be giving an assumed WACC. Okay? So, kasi kung walang WACC, guys, hindi natin mako-compute yung mga present value. Take a look at the NPV, guys. Pag nung kinompute ko, ginamit ko si WACC. Okay, yung una dito yung rate. Ang hinahanap dito yung WACC natin. And then the future cash flows. And then the cash flow at year zero. So that's the NPV function. And we need 12%. Okay? Kung wala tayong WACC, hindi natin mako-compute yung 1703. That's why we had to assume it first. But in reality, guys, kino-compute niya ng finance. Yung weighted average cost of capital. Okay, thank you, Roy, for that question. Okay, now let's go first to punta muna tayo, guys, dito sa kasi nakita ko yung yung deadline natin, guys, ha. Now, tanong ko lang, guys, is Mr. Pedraza still part of the group of the section? Would anyone know? Is Sariel? Sariel, are you here? Okay. Sira yung canvas. Okay. Okay, but he's still enrolled in our section. Okay. Okay, sana ma-resolve niya kasi yung group 8, kawawa naman, dalawa lang sila, no? Maybe next exercise, next activity, maybe I will, yung iba talagang kailangan na by groups kayo kasi medyo pag-uusapan nyo rin FS nyo. Pero in other exercise, siguro i-random ko naman kayo, no? Kasi yung group 8, medyo last activity, since kung hindi nakakaano si Serial ng access ng canvas niya, so dadalawa lang yung group 8. So parang unfair naman sa kanila na dadalawa lang sila. Okay? Yes, Christian?
Hello, sir. I just want to clarify some lang po.
Okay, sige.
Yun dun po ba sa computation ng NPV, required po ba na alam yung WACC, sir?
Yes, oo.
And then my question, sir, is regarding po dun sa activity, kasi po there's no WACC given. So is there an automatic amount if it is not given, sir?
Automatic what? Sorry?
Na amount for value for WACC, sir. Kasi sa activity, sir, if I'm not mistaken, wala pong value ng WACC.
Kaya nga ang answer natin qualitative lang. Ang answer natin kasi 'di ba we learned yung hurdle rate, 'di ba? I was expecting you to answer that, no? Hindi natin maaano yung returns kasi yung not returns, the cash flow, the net present value kasi wala tayong hurdle rate. Pero thank you for that question. That's a good question. So dun sa ano natin, sa exercise natin, I was just expecting you to parang sabihin nyo lang na theoretically na acceptable yung project na to kung yung although nabanggit nga ng ano ng grupo net present value, no? Pero hindi lang na-explain, elaborate. But nevertheless, guys, I gave you points for that. And the result, guys, by the way, I'm going to post it, no? May question lang ako, guys, kasi mukhang na-confuse ako eh. Nalagay ko na ba yung points nyo dun sa Kahoot, sa canvas natin? Let me check, ha? Nalagay ko na ba? Kasi I thought I already posted it. Baka sa ano pa lang, baka sa... Let me check. So sa grades... hindi ko pa na-post. Sorry dun sa kabilang section ko pala na-post yun. Okay, so ipopost ko dito mamaya yung grades nyo, yung points nyo sa Kahoot at saka yung points nyo dito. Okay? And take note, guys, this is to be treated as bonus points at towards the end of the term. Okay, so tingnan natin to, guys. Deadline nyo to, guys, sa Friday, ha? Deadline. SM Robinsons, make sure that Robinsons Malls, hindi ito yata ito yung company, pero check nyo lang, guys, if there's a company called Robinsons Malls. Kung nakuha nyo ng FS, good. ABS at GMA, okay, although mahirap din yung nito, mahirap din yung FS nito. Nestle, you have to identify kung sino. Ang Nestle kasi, Nestle Philippines, kung makukuha nyo yung FS nito, pero kasi international to no? And I'm not sure if this is listed sa PSE. PLDT Globe, you might think twice about this, Group 5, kasi mahirap tong medyo mahirap yung FS nitong dalawang telcos na to. Jollibee, Group 6, you have to identify kung sino yung direct competitor niya. Group 7 and Group 8, please be reminded that the deadline for posting the companies is tomorrow at 12 noon. Okay, you can, then I'll approve it. Okay, ito generally approved na to, no? Ito, you can still change this, guys, kasi sabi ko nga, mahirap yung FS na to. You don't want to choose companies where the accounts are quite complicated. Kasi i-explain nyo yan So kung mahirap i-explain, kung maraming accounts that are really difficult to explain, then magsasuffer yung analysis nyo, magsasuffer din yung points nyo dun sa activity, sa paper. So choose for your benefit, guys, choose na lang yung mga medyo manufacturing or service companies, no? Preferably yung listed, kasi sabi nga natin, kung listed siya, madaling makuha yung information about the company, madaling makuha yung FS ng company. Okay? So I hope that's clear. Reminder, guys, tomorrow, July 16 at 12 noon. Okay, so let's finish, guys, the okay, sandali, may question na i-open ko lang tong yung PowerPoint natin. Okay, so listed sa Philippine Stock Exchange. PSE, Philippine Stock Exchange. Kasi ang PSE, guys, they require companies who are listed in the PSE to submit yung mga FS, to have nagawing public yung mga announcements nila, yung mga any changes, any material changes dun sa corporate policies nila, etc. For full disclosure. Okay, so let's finish this. Definitely matatapos natin tong part A. Yung part B siguro just a portion, pero we're going to finish everything by next meeting. And then next meeting we start with module 2. May kilala ba kayo, guys, sa ibang section? Saan na sila? Alam niyo ba kung saan na sila? Kung anong... Anyone? May kaibigan kayo sa ibang section and by chance, did you ask them kung saan na yung lessons nila? Anyone? Meron ba? Okay, so sabi natin guys, yung first principles ng finance, you have the investment decision, financing decision, dividend decision. So investment decision, dapat yung mga projects guys should have the returns of the cash flows of the project should be greater than the hurdle rate. Alam natin na ina-analyze natin dito yung cash flows. Tapos financing decision, dapat ma-determine ng company yung right mix of debt and equity. The optimal mix, okay? And we call that the weighted average cost of capital. And when we assess projects, dapat doon natin bine-benchmark dun sa WACC, so weighted average cost of capital. Dividend decision, guys, sabi natin, there's a reason why companies issue dividends. So the dividend decision is very important for the firm, and the role of finance is to determine ilan yung retention rate, ilan yung dividend payout ratio. Okay, so depende yan, guys, depende. So some companies, like the blue chip companies, regularly issue dividends. And sabi natin, this in general has the advantage of raising the stock price, raising the shareholder value. Kasi nga, it sends a very strong positive signal that the company is managed well, that the company is performing well, and that encourages potential investors to be part shareholders. And when there's greater demand for the share of that company by the principle of by the law of demand and supply, tumataas yung price ng stock, which in turn maximizes shareholder value. Okay, there are corollary principles as well. Una-una, cash flow is king. Okay, na-discussan natin to. So dito hindi na natin masyadong i-discuss to kasi we have already discussed this. Implication nito, guys, hindi tayo pwede mag-add na lang na basta-basta. Yung ginawa natin kanina, yung sa timeline natin, we said that it's wrong to add yung cash flow at year 0, at year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, hindi pa pwede. Kailangan ma-convert natin sila into one common time frame. Okay? So kunyari, pag na-convert natin sila at time 0, which now becomes short, and when we combine all of these values, sum up all these values, the result is called the net present value. Okay, so it comes from this cash flow is king principle. Okay, then of course, aside from the fact that dapat cash yung mini-measure, and it's related to the time value of money. Sorry napag-combine ko to, no? Time value of money, sabi natin, hindi lang basta-basta pwedeng i-add yung cash. Kailangan nasa common time frame sila. Risk and return, we also have discussed this. Sabi natin, the higher the assumed risk, the higher the required return. Investors would be willing to invest if and only if they are compensated for the risk that they are assuming. Okay, that's part of financial behavior. No? Rational investors. We treat investors as rational. Ibig sabihin, ginagamit nila yung utak nila. No? Okay, but sometimes, guys, investors would behave irrationally. No? Kaya nga may field na ang tawag behavioral finance. There's such a field called behavioral finance. Sulat ko lang dito. Behavioral finance. Okay, anong dinidiscuss dito? Mostly dinidiscuss dito yung irrational behavior ng mga investors, ng mga tao in general. No? Kasi you'll be surprised why people behave the way they behave in terms of, especially in terms of financial activities. No? And sinasabi dyan na oftentimes people behave irrationally. Ibig sabihin, hindi na ginagamit yung utak nila. No? Okay? So that's a field in finance. Okay, so tapos market forces, ito yung tinatawag natin na EMH. Okay, this is also very important. EMH, Efficient Market Hypothesis. Ang sinasabi dyan sa market forces na if you take a look at the stock price, nari sa stock market, yung price na yan already takes into consideration all the information, okay, about the firm. Bakit, guys? We should know that information is key. Information is also very important as far as the stock price is concerned. Kung kunyari naglabas ng announcement, kunyari si Jollibee, na i-acquire niya sino ba, kunyari, Shakey's, no? Okay. Dati in-acquire niya si Red Ribbon. Nung in-announce yun, guys, ano nangyari? Tumaas yung stock price ni Jollibee. Okay? Kasi magandang company yung Red Ribbon. So that was announced that there was this plan for Jollibee to take over or to acquire Red Ribbon. And automatically, guys, yung stock price tumaas. Okay, bakit ganun? Kasi nga may ganung information, and information is king, is key, K-E-Y, no? So this information, when it reaches the investors, then they'll decide, no, on what to do with this information. Magde-decide sila ngayon kung anong move ang gagawin nila. All right? So yung efficient market hypothesis tells us that yung stock price na yan, it already involves all the information about that firm. And it presupposes that the market is efficient. Bakit efficient yung market? Kasi the market allows everyone, all the players, to be aware of any information about the company. Okay. Kapag hindi efficient yung market, guys, magkakaproblema. Bakit? Kasi siguro relevant information about the company will be withheld, tapos ibibigay lang sa mga select parties. Malabo yun. Ibig sabihin, meron lang favored na mga investors. So pag ganun, guys, hindi na, the investors will not trust the market. Kunyari yung stock market, yung Philippine Stock Exchange. If that happens, when information is withheld from other parties, tapos nabigay sa iba, may problema yung ganung market. People will now withdraw from that market. If investors withdraw from the market, guys, mag-collapse yung market na yan. So PSE makes sure that, in a sense, efficient yung market by making sure that all the players, all the companies listed in the market comply with certain rules and regulations. Yung certain rules and regulations yan, yung disclosure about material changes in the company. Kailangan inaano yan. Kailangan ina-announce yan. Kailangan it should be made known to all the investors. Kaya nga I suggest, guys, you look at the PSE website. Makikita nyo dun may mga announcement about news about companies. And this information is made available to parties that do transact business in the Philippine Stock Exchange. And also to the general public. Kasi kunyari hindi pa ako investor and I would like to invest, guys, in the stock market, pupunta ako sa PSE website. Tapos dun ko makikita mga relevant information. In that sense, guys, efficient yung market. Okay? So markets that really follow strictly regulations about transparency, about disclosure, ito yung mga, let's say, ito yung mga efficient na markets. Okay, there are several types of efficient markets, by the way. No? Merong strong, semi-strong, merong semi-weak, I forget the third, tatlo yan. No? Strong, semi-strong yata, at saka yung weak. No? So I would like to encourage you to look into that also. Madaming references yan. Just type efficient market hypothesis. Okay. And the last one, guys, is yung agency problem. Na-discussan natin to. Sabi natin, as a business setup ngayon, companies are managed by professional managers who may not necessarily be the owners, the shareholders. And because of that situation, there's a tendency for an agency problem, a fiduciary problem. Diba? Nasabi ko dati ito yung fiduciary na word. Agency problem where there can be conflict between the actuations, the actions of the professional managers, inimical to the interest of the shareholders. Okay, and the governance dictates that there should be a board of directors, independent board of directors. Good governance dictates that. Dapat independent yung mga board of directors yun. Dapat hindi sila hawak-hawak sa liig ng CEO. Kasi kung hawak-hawak sila sa liig ng CEO, ibig sabihin parang rubber stamp lang sila. Kung ano yung gusto ng CEO, yun ang masusunod. Okay, so there are companies like that na napaka-powerful ng CEO. And kaya nga, yung dati dun sa nagkaroon ng problem dun sa US, yung mga companies na hindi kumikita, and yet the management, the CEOs would declare bonuses for them, exorbitant fees, no? Ang lalaki ng mga bahay nila, yung mga perks nila, grabe. And yet the company is not earning. Masyado naging glorified yung CEO na term, no? But there were CEOs who were on the opposite end, no? May mga CEOs na, for example, na since hindi umaano yung company, hindi kumikita. Ang ginawa ng CEO, I just forget the CEO, what company was that. Ang ginawa niya, nag-declare siya na ang salary niya, $1 lang for the whole year, guys. For the whole year. So siguro mga allowances sa lang kinukuha niya, no? But not the salary. Malaki din yung salary. So, medyo extreme naman siguro yun, no? Pero that was remarkable. And laro naging glaring yung difference with the other CEOs who kept on declaring bonuses for them, more perks. Okay, imagine, ang dami mga mansion, tapos may mga jets pa sila at the expense of the shareholders. Okay, may mga jets sila ng sarili nila, shouldered by the company, yung mga fuel nun, etc., etc. Wow, grabe. And yet they were not producing results. So talagang na-amplify dito, guys, yung problem ng agency, no? Agency problem, the fiduciary problem. And with this onset, talagang ini-strengthen ng SEC yung governance, no? Yung good governance. Kaya nga may mga implementing rules and hanapin niyo yan, guys, good governance as specified by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Making sure that the professional management should act for the benefit of the shareholders. Kasi nga, agent sila, no? Agent sila. Okay. So, in principle, guys, okay, so dapat dito to, no? Yung cash is king natin, it should be the bigger is better, sooner is better, and less risk is better. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Siyempre, the bigger cash inflow, the better. The sooner, the better. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. Mas maganda yung 10 million now, or 10 million after 1 year, compared to 10 million in 5 years' time. Okay, we know that because the effect on the net present value will really be big, no? So the sooner the inflows are obtained, the better. And of course, the risk of the cash flows, no? The less risk is better. What do I mean by that? Compare kunyari, mag-i-invest ka sa isang industry na medyo stable, okay, not so much market risk, then so the risk of the cash flows in that industry is less. Ibig sabihin, yung projected cash flows might in most probability be the cash flows that we are expecting. Compare that to an industry, guys, na emerging. Bagong industry. Yesterday I saw a comics, no? Archie, no? I don't know if you know Archie comics. No 1999 naglabas sila ng cartoons na comics. And surprising, grabe, 1999 yun, ha? You have the parents and their child talking, no? Sabi ng child, ang sarap naman ng school namin ngayon kasi hindi na ako kailangan pumunta ng school. Tapos may computer, tapos online lang. I don't have to bring the books to tapos andito na yung mga references. Tapos nag-uusap yung dalawang parents, sabi nila, oo nga, dati kami, grabe yung That cartoons was in 1999. Imagine, guys, in 2019, nagkatotoo nga, di ba? 2020, andito tayo, no? Okay? Of course, there are downsides to this virtual classroom also. Pero, at that time, siguro unimaginable yan. No? Now, again, maybe you have industries now. Kunyari, ano kaya yung dumating point na hindi natin kailangan yung cellphone? Meron na ng cloud na pervasive na yung cloud. So when we speak, kunyari, Bob Bailon, ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, kunyari ganun. Marirecognize yan. Pag nagsalita lang ako, mababasa na maririnig sa cloud yun. Tapos, kung ano man yung message ko, bali lahat vocal na lang. Wala na yung gadget. Yung gadget nasa cloud na mismo. Okay? So I don't know if that's just fiction, parang Star Trek fiction or Star Wars fiction. But who knows, guys? That might be the time, no? That might happen in the near future. We never can tell kasi grabe din yung pace ng technology, no? Okay, I have a few more minutes. So I need to pace myself. Kailangan at least matapos natin tong slides na to. Okay, so hanin ko lang to guys, i-close ko lang to. So if you're in an industry where the technology is relatively new, syempre yung cash flows yan mas risky. And we would want cash flows, less risk in cash flows. Of course, that's better than cash flows in very risky propositions. Okay, so sabi natin sa principle number 1 natin, dun sa corollary principles natin, cash flow is what matters. Accounting profit or net income is not the same as cash flow. So if you're given data about net income after tax, kailangan i-convert mo muna yan into cash flow for you to be able to assess whether the project is feasible or not. And we know that it's cash flow that drives the value of the business. Okay, ano ibig sabihin itong incremental cash flow is king? Ang sinasabi lang yan, guys, na it means, kunyari, you have a timeline year, kunyari sa year 5, meron tayong outflow na 5,000, tapos meron tayong na inflow na 8,000. Ang kino-consider natin lang, guys, yung incremental, yung 3,000 lang. Ito lang i-analyze natin. Okay? Yung incremental na to. Okay, so that's what incremental cash flows needs to be determined in making financial decisions. Okay, that's what that means, incremental. No? Yung net lang, yung net effect. Okay, so that's what we mean by ito yung relevance ng cash flow is what matters. Time value of money naman, guys. We know this, that 1 peso today is better than 1 peso received in the future. Kasi nga, possible na mag-earn ng interest yan, tapos may interest pa dun sa interest. Okay, so third is the principle of risk and return. Rational behavior. No? We assume here that investors act rationally. So we assume here that investors are rational. They're rational beings. They use their brain. They use their mind. Pero sabi nga natin, there's a field in finance called behavioral finance. And this studies why, more often than not, investors do not act rationally. So there's that field. Okay, so sabi natin na pag rational yung investor, hindi siya papayag na mag-invest sa isang instrument na mataas yung risk pero hindi siya kino-compensate for that. Okay, pero may mga may mga gumagawa nun, okay? And then that violates yung rationality concept, no? And it now falls under the purview of behavioral finance, yung irrational exuberance kung tawagin. Irrational, no? Okay? So this one, guys, sinabi na natin to. Okay, yung efficient market hypothesis, market prices are generally right. Okay? Market prices are generally right. The prices of traded assets, traded assets like stocks and bonds fully reflect available information. Okay? Kaya nga meron tayong EMH, Efficient Market Hypothesis. Okay. So, ang implication nito, kung may mga ginagawang activities yung company, good decisions, which should be broadcasted, no? Pag may decision sila na material, kailangan ano yan, by the policies of SEC, kailangan i-announce, kailangan i-disclose yan. Okay. Generally, it increases stock price. Kasi nga sabi natin, this is based on the law of supply and demand. No? And there would be an impossible increase in expected cash flows. Okay. However, guys, alam naman natin na may mga inefficiencies in the market that may distort prices. Which brings us, guys, to this concept na banggit ko to sa kabilang class. I'll mention this. There are really two ways, generally dalawang ways in order to no, to value stock. Ibig sabihin, to determine the value of the stock. There's this fundamental analysis versus technical analysis. Okay. So as part of your assigned reading, pero hindi ko naman i-collect to, no? May i-share akong maraming information, guys, in the internet. Okay, this is just one. So this is fundamental versus technical. I-share ko dito sa ano natin, sa chat. Okay, you may wish to copy this, guys, and do some reading about it. Okay, ano ba yung difference ng fundamental analysis versus technical analysis? Okay, si fundamental analysis, guys, hindi niya ginagamit yung price sa stock market. Ang ginagamit niya yung financial statements, okay, mga news about the company. Ang technical analysis, ang ginagamit niya yung stock price, no? So gumagamit siya ng chart. So ang technical analysis, guys, ito yung ginagawa niya. Tinitingnan niya yung pattern, yung price at saka yung volume. Doon siya kumukuha ng information. Okay, and there are reasons for that. So I would, guys, that you read this para at least meron tayong basic knowledge about fundamental analysis and technical analysis, no? Okay. I'm running out of time. Okay, and then last, guys, yung agency problems. Alam naman natin yan, guys. We know that conflicts may arise due to agency problems. Okay, and just to conclude, guys, yung mga principles in finance na to, number one, it's common sense, no? Common sense siya. No rocket science involved in this. Alam naman natin na kung ang returns ng project is 11%, tapos ang cost of capital natin is 13%, why push through with the project? Cost of funds 13%, return ng project 11%. Bakit natin itutuloy? Di ba it's very obvious? No? It's very obvious. That's why we're saying here, it's common sense. No? Okay? So also here, ang sinasabi dito, dun sa financing decision, mas maganda, guys, makahanap tayo ng financing mix na mas mababa. Okay? 12% WACC is better than 13% WACC. Okay? And lastly, common sense, guys, na kapag walang mga business opportunity sa labas na maganda, mas maganda siguro ibalik na lang yung ibang cash dun sa investors in the form of dividends kaysa hang on to that cash. Remember, guys, na may advantage din yung nagbibigay ng dividends, no? So that's the first generalization we have. Second one is focused siya. Corporate finance is focused. Focusing on the right investment decision, the right mix of debt and equity, the right amount of cash to be given to the shareholders. Okay, singular objective, maximize shareholder value. Lahat ng mga to, guys, the aim is to maximize shareholder value. Guys, permission to add one more minute, ha? I know it's time. Tapusin ko lang tong slides na to. Okay, and then this one, okay, it's also universal. Ano sinasabi nito? Yung mga principles na to, whether you're a small company, big company, nasa mature market ka, nasa emerging market, okay, lahat ng to sinusunod. No? Whatever the nature of your business, public ka man or private, all entities follow this fundamental principles of finance. Universal to. Kahit international ang company mo, kahit hindi. Okay? So, ito, pareho lang ito sinabi natin, yung first principles, hindi siya nagbabago. Whether you're a small business or a big business. Okay, ganun din guys sa yung sa pag-generate ng higher returns based on compared to hurdle rates. Okay, lastly guys, ito na lang Vuca. Now, this is the situation businesses are in now. Yung volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Ganun yung business environment. No? Yung Vuca. And this was used first in the US Navy. Ngayon, ginamit na rin sa mga businesses. Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguity. Unfortunately, we don't have time to discuss this now, but may I request you to read up on this. Tapos, pakitingnan din guys quickly guys, yung Vuca 2.0. May Vuca 2.0 na. No? Ano yung Vuca 2.0? Just a few seconds guys. Ano yung Vuca 2.0? Can somebody chat? Ano yung Vuca 2.0? Vuca 2.0. What's Vuca 2.0? That's the antidote to Vuca. Yung volatile yung market, uncertain, napaka-complex, and napaka-ambiguous. Okay, anyone? And then we'll end in this. Vuca 2.0. Chat na lang. Okay, none. Yan, okay. So, thank you, Theo. So, this is the antidote to the Vuca principle. The antidote to volatility is vision. The antidote to uncertainty is understanding. The antidote to complexity is courage. The antidote to ambiguity is adaptability. May I request you guys to read up on this para medyo familiar tayo. Okay, some questions will be asked dun sa exams natin based on this. Just an appreciation of this concept. All right, thank you so much, guys. Sorry for the extension. No? I'll stop the recording now.